please welcome Missouri Realtors 2022 President, John Mayfield.
Thank you so much for being here this afternoon. I appreciate it. Hope you had a great day today. We had a wonderful morning session here. How many of you were here for that? All right, good job. So let's get started. We want to very quickly just mention that we are offering a hybrid conference, and so welcome those of you who are watching online. We want to welcome you and thank you. I think I forgot to acknowledge our online folks this morning, but we do appreciate you watching. So we want this conference to be a positive experience for everyone, no matter how you are attending. Please visit the conference page schedule on your new app, which we'll talk a little bit about, and you can find out more about all the meetings, agendas, and the virtual join links that are there. So we've got a very exciting program lined up for you today, and we're going to share some stories and have a lot of fun. But first, I want to invite the Jefferson City Fire Department Color Guard at the back of the room to come forward. And Kayla Johnson, a realtor from the St. Louis Realtors Association, is coming to sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You may be seated. Thank you, Jefferson City Fire Department and Kayla Johnson for a great... Kayla is a member of our current Realtors Leadership Academy class. By the way, they told me they are fast-tracked to become the best class ever. Speaking of the Leadership Academy, we are proud to have our Leadership Academy with us, Missouri Leadership Academy with us. You all want to stand and wave at everyone, so. And then we also have a couple of other associations who brought their leadership classes over. You want to stand if you're in the audience and let us recognize you there. We're so glad that you're here and participating. So today, we're going to have fun. We're going to share some stories. It's kind of like an NAR 360. So I'm going to tell the first story. And I have to go back here in the back of the room. So you'll have to follow me back here. Not follow me, just... because... I know you get tired of hearing me say I got my real estate license when I was 18 in 1978, but there was a time when I think I sat right here in this chair, and I was looking forward saying, wow, this is amazing. And I have to be honest with you, the thought went through my head, I wonder what it would be like to be president of a group like this. And here I am today. And I tell you that story because really, pardon me, sorry about that. Really, these conferences can change your life. They can. I would not be here today if it was not for coming to Missouri Realtor conferences. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for people like T. David, and Larry Keating, and Richard Mendenhall, Lane Moore, and I could go around the room. There's many of you here. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for people like, and Sharon, who just encouraged me and gave me ideas. And, you know, I told the first-time attendees today, we were back there. I don't know what the name of the room is, but it's it's the last room on the right before you go out. The Carnegie, okay. I taught a Palm Pilot class back there to a packed house. And people were like, no, how'd he do that? You know. Anyway, I got my technology start here at the Capitol Plaza, but hopefully you had hot water. I've got a few suggestions I'd like to share with the little things that we could do for the hotel. But anyway, we've got hot water, and I tell you what, they've been a friendly group of people here, so thank you so much. So it's a pleasure for me to introduce the balance of your 2022 leadership team. Andrea Sheridan, my president-elect, Derek Schriever, treasurer, Janet Judd, our immediate past president, my travel companion to France, and we had a good time, and Bobby Howe, our treasurer-elect. So thank you to the leadership team who are serving very well. And we'll have more introductions as we go throughout this afternoon. But I know you want to hear more about our new Chief Executive Officer. I've been saying CEO, and then I thought, Chief Executive Officer just has a more of a better ring to it. So Brianna has more than 20 years of experience in marketing, association management, and real estate. She's been a realtor and worked in communications for realtor associations in West Palm Beach, Florida, St. Paul, Minnesota. She previously served as the Chief Executive Officer for Boise Regional Realtors. She holds a bachelor's degree in journalism and an MBA, both from the University of St. Thomas in Minnesota. Welcome, Brianna.
So much.
I think I was supposed to say
You're good.
You want to, I'll let you tell a little bit about yourself.
Oh, yeah, no, you're just fine. You're
Okay,
just
go
fine.
ahead.
Well, thank you guys so much for the opportunity to be here today. This leadership team, John, have been fantastic. So I just want to, first of all, thank you all for such a warm welcome as well. Here at the conference the last day and a half and online beforehand. As John said, I've been a realtor previously. I did it when I was like doing faxes and stuff. That's when I sold real estate. So it's been a little while, but I've been in the industry, like you said, for a bit. And I just want to say I am beyond excited to join this team, this organization. Missouri Realtors has a fantastic reputation nationally amongst all the other states, all the locals. We may have stolen a couple ideas from you guys over the years in Boise, but that's just a true testament to all of you as volunteer leaders. The staff at this organization is well known, well regarded, and I'm just really, really excited to be a part of the team. And I guess just one thing that they asked me to kind of say, what am I excited about, or what sort of, how am I approaching maybe taking on this role? And I share a piece of advice I got from a realtor in Boise, Idaho, and he's been around a long time. Some of you may have heard of Andy Enrico. If you haven't, now you know his name. But he told me right when I started in Boise that my job was just two things: to help him make money and keep him out of trouble. So I've always kind of thought about that in terms of what we do for our members and for realtors. And I think what's really cool about that piece of advice is, though it's very simple, it really does guide everything we do, right? How do we help you in your business? How do we help you be successful in your day-to-day business practice, and how we're doing that through the programs and services that we offer? And then how do we keep you out of trouble, right? How do we help through risk management, through the legal advice, through forms, all of those really, really important things that that's truly what your state organization is here to do, working alongside your locals and helping bring those great programs from the National Association to all of our members. So I just want to say thank you. I'm so looking forward to working with all of you, and thank you for the opportunity.
Great.
Thank you.
So much.
Thank you. You want me to go over there?
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much, Brianna, and we're excited to have her on board, and I know you're going to get a chance to meet her. By the way, we said we'd love to have you come to the conference if you can, and she graciously said, I'll be there, and so she had some vacation time, and she's spending her vacation with us. So. But she will be joining us in between our association and Boise and Washington, D.C., so if you're planning to go to the legislative meetings in Washington, D.C., you'll see her at some of our events, so she'll be around. So thanks again. At this time, I would like to, I want to recognize our two NAR past presidents, Richard Mendenhall and Elizabeth Mendenhall. I don't know if, I talked to Richard on the phone the other day, and he said he was not going to be able to be here. Is Elizabeth here, or? And so, and you know, we've been fortunate. We've had a third president, and even though he's no longer with us, I want to remember Lane Morrill. He was one of our national presidents from Missouri too. So I would like to recognize Missouri Realtors past president, Larry Keating. And actually, Larry, I'm going to recognize you in just a second, but I want all of our Missouri past presidents to stand first. So if you're a Missouri past president, thank you. I said today at the executive meeting that we always say that, we recognize them and clap, but I mean, I know what they did and the time they spent serving our association, so it's a big deal, and I appreciate your service and your mentoring and help as well. Now I want to recognize Larry Keating as well. Larry was actually recognized last year as a national, they give out two, I think they only give two each year, which are called the Distinguished Service Award recipients. And that is for the ultimate recognition for dedicated realtors who've always set themselves apart as a leader. Realtors who receive the award have shown exceptional service for at least 25 years, have been recognized as local leaders whose performance and involvement in political and community activities have been extraordinary. It's a really big deal, and Larry Keating, we want to say congratulations again and recognize him. And Bruce, I don't know if you're watching online, but Bruce Ite has also received that award as well. So congratulations to Bruce as well. And then our staff, we couldn't do it without our staff. So they are around the room, wave at us, but all of them do such a great job. And I feel like, Kara, I jumped and missed a spot. Did I miss Kim? Okay, so somewhere in the script, in the bright lights, John went off script, but that's okay. You just work those things out. So Kim Moriarty and Victoria back at the back, they both, and Victoria Brown, thank you. They are both retiring. And so we're going to miss you. We had an event last night and recognized them, and I wanted to be able to give you a little something extra today as well. So if you will come up here, they're going to spend more time with their grandchildren, their families, and they've been such a great integral part, and we did not just give them candy, okay? So anyway, but a little something that's for you, Kim, and that's for you, Victoria. Thank you both. Thank you. Oh, here, Victoria, come in here. Let's get a picture.
What does he want?
Your little award down there, hold that up.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. And they did not retire because Brianna came on. They had that all planned. So, but we're going to miss them. And then we have two new people that have joined their place. Mandy, and don't tell me, is it Mary? Michelle, Mandy and Michelle who joined. And so they're back in the back of the room. You've probably seen them. So I knew it was an M, Michelle. So, all right. So I want to now ask the entire leadership team to join me on stage. And I've asked each one of the members to say a little bit of something on a specific topic. I'm going to let Janet Judd go first, but I need to tell you, if you have not known or seen, Janet was recently appointed to the Missouri Real Estate Commission by the governor, which is a big deal. So I've told her this story. Bunny Cook, I remember they asked Bunny what it was like at an educators meeting. They said, "What's it like being on the Real Estate Commission?" And Bunny thought for a moment. She said, "It's like reading Gone with the Wind once a week." So all of the complaints, I guess, that came in. But Janet, I'm going to invite you to come up. She's done a great job as president. She set the bar really high for me, but she's become a good friend and a mentor, and I appreciate her friendship. So go right ahead, Janet.
Is my mic? I'm good. Well, I'm delighted about the MREC. That's right in my wheelhouse. I love all that stuff. So when I get my little notebook full of stuff, I'm going to be like, yeah. So I'll be good there. But this year, I've had the honor of being NAR. Our president, Leslie Rhoda Smith, appointed me chair of the Realtor Safety Advisory Council. So that's right up my wheelhouse, because you guys know that I used to teach, and I'm saying used to teach because I'm not going to be able to in the state of Missouri because of the MREC. I can't be affiliated with any schools. So, but anyway, with the NAR, I can still do that. So I had the honor at Leadership Summit in Chicago and at the Region 9, just to share a little story. And it was, Realtor safety is so important to all of us. You need to know that the U.S. Department of Labor has declared that we are a high-risk occupation, plain and simple. And we need to realize that and absorb that into what we do. there are more realtors killed in the United States than there were more realtors killed than officers killed in the New York City Police Department. More realtors than the New York City Police Department. So that's why we need to take those classes. They may not be fun, because I'm not teaching them anymore. But anyway, but you need to be aware of what you can do better. There's predators out there and there's opportunists. And John asked me to share the story that last year I had a listing in Overland. And I will ask people what kind of car they're driving, what time they're going to be there, who's going to be with them, if it's a husband and wife or friends or family, whatever, how many people are going to be there, just so that I'm prepared. And I want them to text me. I'll ask them, what kind of car are you driving or the color, etc. And unless they do that, I don't go and show the property. I just don't do it, and my sellers understand that. Well, this guy confirmed what he was driving, and he said that he was going to be there with his wife. Well, I always show up a little bit early for appointments, and I always park, so that I can see the house. I'm not directly in it. I never park in the driveway. That's a given, because I don't want my vehicle blocked in. So I parked just a little bit so I could see them as they pulled up, and as they drove by me, 4 guys in the car. No females. And then one of the guys gets out and he goes into the backyard. I'm thinking, maybe Mother Nature was calling, I don't know. But I gave him a few minutes and he did not return back to the vehicle. So then I called the guy and I said, I'm not going to be showing you this house. I'm canceling the appointment. And he said, why? I said, well, what's up with the guy that's in the backyard? And he said, what guy in the backyard? So I said, we're done. So I turned around and I left. So that's what I want you to be able to be, is that you need to be able to say no. I mean, we're all brought up to be courteous and nice and polite, and that's what Mom taught us, and we learned that in kindergarten and all of that. But you need to realize that you're in charge of your safety. And if you don't feel safe, or something's not right, or they misspoke to you or miscommunicated, take charge and reschedule, leave, do whatever you need to. But take charge and be safe. That's my story. Some things never change. I'm still a klutz. Oh, and Derek, you're up.
When you were sitting down, I put 2 and 2 together that I was up next. I also saw my face on the screen, which, that was kind of the dead giveaway. So I'm here to talk about 2 topics with you all. One is both are incredible passions of mine. One has been a passion for many years. One has become a passion of mine in the past year or so. First topic is something I hope you're familiar with, because I've been on this stage talking about it since prior to 2019 and starting with my involvement in the Consumer Education Committee back in probably 2014 and 15. The It's Your Move program is something that had been around for a long time under an entity called Center in the 90s and 2000. In the late 2010s, we adapted that to become the Missouri Realtors Education Foundation, and they continued trying to redevelop It's Your Move. I am so proud to announce that program has been taught in schools in multiple counties, in multiple cities across our state, and I am so proud of the group who's finally found a way to implement that, get it in the schools. There's been some people who have been absolute fighters for that cause, and they found a way to get a system in place, and they're there in the schools. I want to give credit to Marcia Cull as well as Forrest Dodgehill. They have done a phenomenal job in the Kansas City and Joplin area. So I want to give kudos to them. That program is in good... And sorry if I left people out who were also in the classroom, but those were the 2 that seem to have a lot of steam going with their program. And we're looking for other Missouri Realtors to be part of that. If you have questions about that, feel free to reach out to an MREF member or Tristan Asbury, for the most part, within staff, handles a lot of that topic. But just so proud of that group and that they're back in schools, and we're trying to educate the future consumer to be more informed and be better consumers, so we have clients in the future who understand the process and understand the importance of the realtor in the transaction, and that's why we're trying to get back into the schools. A second topic I'm here to discuss is one that I got, in a way, assigned last year by Janet to participate in the Realtor Relief Foundation. It was the 20th anniversary. Our past Missouri and national president, Richard Mendenhall, created the fund shortly after 9/11. And I believe within hours of 9/11 taking place. And what really happened was, it kicked off, and there's any tragedy that takes place of a natural disaster, whether it be a hurricane, flood, wildfires, all those things that are seeming to kick up a little bit more in activity as of late. The Realtor Relief Foundation is there to support the public and realtors who have just suffered from a disaster. And what we did last year was a nationwide campaign. Missouri Realtors did a little different. We had asked the Missouri Realtors members as well as the associations to consider contributing to the Realtor Relief Foundation National, but we also have one locally at the Missouri Realtors. And so we kind of gave the option. This year, we've been kind of requested after finding out we were the only one who went about the marketing that way. We did a good job. We raised some money for our Missouri Realtor Relief Foundation, but this year we're really focusing on the NAR Realtor Relief Foundation. It has already contributed to the Kansas wildfires that have been taking place, so Region 9 has already been receivers of some of the activity from last year. We raised over $8 million for the Realtor Relief Foundation last year nationwide. Missouri Realtors was an amazing group part of that. We contributed a large, over $100,000 to that cause as Missouri Realtors, and we raised significant tens of thousands amongst our members. And so what happened last week in Arkansas was Brenda Oliver, along with Doyle Yates and some others, they challenged the board of directors to contribute. And so I'm going to ask you and challenge you to do the same. I have a bag of pins that look like this. It's a beautiful stained glass picture commemorating the 20th anniversary of the Realtor Relief Foundation. On the screen, you can see my eyesight's pretty poor, so give me a second. If you text region to 7177, you can get a link to contribute to the Realtor Relief Foundation, and I challenge you to do that. They raised over $6,000 in their board of directors meeting, and I'd like to see us over this day through the board of directors not just match that. I'd like to see us go well above it, and we'll see what we can do. But I just task you with please considering contributing to the Realtor Relief Foundation. It goes to a great cause, and we're out there supporting the public when they're in their most vulnerable position. And as homeowners and as members who always support the homeowner, that's the moment they need us, and this relief fund gives you the opportunity to provide funds to help them when they're in their worst place. So thank you for your time. Andrea Sheridan.
All right, so how many of you were invited here by somebody pretty darn awesome? Anybody else? Yeah. So think that through. Okay, well, if you're trying to be honest, how many of you are invited by somebody kind of mediocre? If that person's next to you, don't make eye contact, right? Now, if you were invited here, which most of us were, invited to a state meeting or even a local meeting by somebody who said, hey, you need to come to this with me. If they are not here with you, get out your phone. Never are you ever going to have a speaker who says get out your phone, but I'm saying get out your phone. I want you to shoot them a text message while I share a really sad story, okay? I don't see anybody getting out phones. Come on, y'all. So text whoever invited you, whoever got you involved in being at local or state meetings, and just shoot them a text and say thanks. Thanks for the opportunity of inviting me. Because that is how we grow and we build and we get amazing ideas. So here's my really sad story. A leadership journey that almost died in its infancy. So I think back to some of the very first meetings after being invited by a super amazing human being, which was my broker. I would go to state meetings and I would sit in an overcrowded room, and some of them times it was standing room only, and no one ever asked my opinion. No one ever said, what do you think? They were closed meetings, and the only people who could ever talk were the people that were at the table. And we didn't have a mentorship program, and there weren't really people other than the people who invited you to help guide you in your mission and what you're doing here and sharing your ideas here at the state level. So go ahead and throw on the screen. The O2 structure came into being to make sure that everybody, when you get here to state meetings, have a voice and are asked your opinion. So the O2 structure allows those output groups to funnel up ideas from every single person who's not only joining us online but in person, to then take them into those mission committees, which then go to the executive committee through the leadership team, and make sure that the ideas that you guys have at your local level are being able to reach not only our state level, but even go beyond into the national level. It's fun when people copy after us. That is one of the best forms of flattery, right? Is when they take ideas that we're doing and make them a national thing, kind of like the hub. So what you'll see on the screen, this is that structure of the O2 structure that really allows the grassroots ideas to funnel up. So it is a wide base of all of the ideas funneling up through, and the great thing about this structure is there's dollars allocated for the ideas that you guys are bringing up. So we need you. We need you not only to be in those output groups and those committees to share your ideas, but we need you to be the person that invites someone else to be in this room, to be in those conversations, whether they are there virtually or in person. So who can I count on to invite someone else to our next meeting? I love it. Yeah, awesome. So thank you guys for being here. If you have questions about the O2 structure or how you can plug in and make sure that your leadership journey does not die in its infancy, see us. We're happy to help. And next we have John Mayfield.
Thank you, Andrea, and thank you, Derek and Janet. Appreciate that so much. We are excited to share some more important updates that we want to give with you. And a couple of things I want to mention to you that I've been very passionate about is the podcast we have. So I've recorded 4 podcasts. These are agent-centric, so it's to help you grow your business. If you haven't downloaded the podcast, please do so. I want to say thanks to Kara and the staff for ordering one of those banners so they can actually, I just do a QR code out in the front and it'll take you right to the podcast. But we've done 4 of those, and we're going to actually play a little clip for you now. So,
how to spend our time in a more productive way.
How many people do you need to be reaching out to on a daily basis, and how many meetings do you need to be having, and how many contracts do you need to be potentially in consideration, so that you know, to make what I want to make, how many people do I need to be talking to? If you don't pick up the phone when you have an opportunity, somebody might just go to the next realtor.
So that was my good friend Mary from St. Louis. She's works with people on managing their time. I don't know if you've had a chance to listen to that, but it was very eye-opening for me. Darren Kittleson helped me with March. He's a broker coach and a friend of mine. And I had one of our members reached out to me and he said, you know, that podcast has changed my whole outlook on how I'm going to run my business. So I hope you'll listen to those. They're each month we're going to try to bring you informative information that can help you with your business. And then we also started for brokers only, the broker community on the landing. Oh, by the way, you can listen to the podcast the app was the next thing I need to mention. We have the new app. How many of you downloaded the new app? Good, all right. We're going to be working on it. I know there's a few little things, but you can download that from the QR code at Apple or Google. But I think it has some great benefits for us. I've sent 2 referrals when people have asked me about who can I get in that area, and I know the people, and I just go type in the first few letters of their name, and the person's information pops up, and I just share it via message or Messenger on Facebook, and it goes right to them. So be sure and download the app. I want you to do that as well. And then we have the brokers. For brokers, we created a new brokers community. One of my initiatives was that we'd have some content for brokers, designated brokers. We had our first webinar with the Missouri Real Estate Commission. We had well over 100 people in attendance. I don't know if you had a chance to watch that. It is posted out there, but they actually took us through an actual audit. It was a very good session. Then Carla Cross did a webinar for us last week on how to, not only recruiting agents, but how to get them to last in the business. What do you need to do to keep them trained and to last? So anyway, brokers, agents, we've got podcasts, we've had webinars, and we've got a lot more cool things that we're going to be doing as we move forward. So there was one more item I wanted to mention there. But as Steve Martin would say, I forgot. But, what was that? Oh, that's what it was. Thank you. Elizabeth Mendenhall is watching us online right now. So everybody turn around and say, wave at Elizabeth. So thanks for joining us. And all of our guests who are joining us online, we appreciate that so much. Okay, I'm going to invite Bobby Howe, our treasurer-elect, to come up. Bobby's got some great things to share with us.
Hi guys, how are you? Are you ready to get out to the welcome reception? Yes, yes you are. So the reason I'm here talking to you today is that hopefully, as you know, April is Fair Housing Month for NAR. It's 2022, and why are we still talking about fair housing? Those of you that were there at the Capitol Conference today, two of our talking points, fair housing issues, MONA, and restrictive covenants that are still on homes. John asked us to share stories. When I was president of KCRER in 2020, COVID happened, but then everything happened with George Floyd. Everything that happened after that. In one of my president's messages for KCRER, I talked about some of the systemic racism, housing inequalities that we still have that exist to this day. And after that, one of our members reached out to us, a black woman. And she said, Bobby, thank you so much for your message. I don't know if you know this, but back when I got into the business in early 2000, the brokerage that I chose to associate myself with told me I was only allowed to sell west of this area or north of that area. Seriously. This is still existing today. This is why we still have this conversation today. Last year, President Charlie Oppler with NAR issued the Fair Housing Challenge. President Leslie Ruda Smith has issued that same challenge this year. I checked it earlier. You can Google NAR Fair Housing Challenge, and you can see the 3 components that our president is asking us to complete. It's the Fair Haven. If you've not taken Fair Haven, do it now. The second part is the implicit bias training, which now Michelle Walker is now a trainer for that, so awesome, yay. And the third part is the At Home with Diversity training. Take those parts. The next part is there's going to be a webinar tomorrow. It just happens to be at 2 o'clock while we're here. But NAR has a new documentary that's coming out. They're releasing on Facebook Live tomorrow. It's going to talk about some of the widening gaps we have in racial home ownership. And some of our gaps that are closing, but they're closing way too slowly. They're going to show you some new research. Then there's going to be a panel of experts who talk about some of the policies that are being proposed so we can close that gap. Hopefully, finally, once and for all. And then they're going to introduce 4 new award winners. NAR has a new award that's going to start this year called the Fair Housing Champion Award. And these are people who are making a difference in their communities through their fair housing experiences that they're doing, what they're doing in their communities right now. Spoiler alert, somehow they chose me to be one of their winners. With that comes an amazing grant for the charity of my choice. Please tune in if you have a chance, but if you go on and you sign up for it, it'll push it back out so you can watch it on Facebook Live later. Finally, our new Diversity and Inclusion Committee is up and running. We just had our first committee meeting. They've got an amazing booth out there. Please stop by, take a look at the materials we have. But please just remember this conversation, Fair Housing Month is not a month. We need to talk fair housing every single day. Thank you.
All right, who's ready for a fun week, right? We got a lot of stuff planned, and so I'm just going to go through a few things. We have Prison, Brews, and Booze event this evening, hosted by Missouri YPN. We'll start Wednesday with Rise and Refocus. I've heard nothing but great things about that, so that's tomorrow morning. Then we have Wednesday's Lunch and Learn that's hosted by Missouri Women's Council and RRC. It's sure to be a big hit. And then we have what? The auction. Thank you. Yes, the Robert W. Borgman RPAC auction on Wednesday evening. Hopefully you brought your Kentucky Derby attire. I did bring a I think it's a Kentucky Derby hat, so I hope so. I Googled it, and you know, that's supposed to be if you Google it and it's there, right? So, but we're going to have a great week, so be sure and visit our sponsors. We've got some great sponsors and exhibitors out there. And I'd like to please recognize some folks here. USA Mortgage, Realtor.com, Jefferson City Board of Realtors, the City of Jefferson City, Home Warranty, Security First Title, Seller Shield, and Continental Title. Let's give them a round of applause. And then I would like all of our exhibitors to stand up. We have their names listed on the screen. Get by and see them. We appreciate our exhibitors so much. They do such a good job. So now, as you exit, you're going to get a drink ticket, and we want you to go visit the exhibitors. We want you to network. I started with that story about sitting back there, which is a true story, but you know, it was in this room that got my start. And some of you may be first-time attendees, some of you may be second or third-time attendees, but all of you have an opportunity to really grow and excel as professionals in this association and in this business. And so we're here to help you, and we thank you for coming. I want to thank my leadership team again for their stories. Thank you. And welcome to Brianna, our new CEO, and thank you all. So have a drink and visit the sponsors, and we'll see you bright and early in the morning, okay? So.